Hi everyone, welcome to a cooking show that I often do at Dr. Melissa Mandala YouTube or Dr. Melissa's Kitchen. So this is a special recipe because who doesn't love butternut squash? It's really great because butternut squash is not just for the fall or for the soup, but we can make curry out of it. Most people know it in ravioli or some type of pasta, but I do love it in curry because it has more flavonoids and antioxidants and things that bring down inflammation. So let's cut this in half. This is the butternut squash. So let's take out these seeds. And remember, it's nice and orange, so that is a beautiful sign and color of vitamin C. Here it is, beautiful butter squash. It smells great. And then you have 3 cloves of garlic and then half an onion. I chose red onion. You could use yellow or brown onion, whatever you have in the fridge. Don't overcomplicate it or overthink it. Now I'm gonna start adding some tofu, but this is a organic. So I have this soft tofu. So if you're not allergic to soy, this is a great dish for you. It's gonna be the soft part of the dish. We're gonna save this for last because tofu actually is already easy to eat and you can eat it raw. And I just did, I ate a piece and it was quite nice, really refreshing. Doesn't really have a flavor, which is nice because you can spice it up any way you want. We are gonna prepare the spices, just so you know. It's gonna have about 2 teaspoons of curry powder, and then you could either use fresh ginger or just use about half a teaspoon of ground ginger here, like this. You can use some type of coconut milk. You'll probably need the whole can. Since I'm not using coconut oil, I do try to avoid too much coconut oil, coconut milk, because it can raise LDL for those who have cardiac disease. All right, here I am at the stove top, and I put this much olive oil so I can coat the skillet here. And it's about, I would say, 2 teaspoons. It just depends on how much you like. Not too oily for me. And now I'm gonna put the minced garlic. As you can hear the sizzle, I love that sound. You just want it a little bit golden, not brown, because you don't want to lose its actual health healing properties. Garlic is great, helps with fight infections. Now let's put this red onion in this skillet, which is like a nice saute. Who loves that? What I'm gonna do is have the onions cook all around and then leave the middle just empty because you wanna toast your spices. That's what makes it extra tasty and extra authentic. Toast the ginger, toast the garlic, and the curry. So the spices are gonna be the curry, the ginger powder, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of turmeric. It is a little bitter, so not too much. Just a little bit. And the onions are almost translucent. Remember that your butternut squash will take a while to cook, so that's what you're gonna put in first. And then at the end, after, we'll put the tofu and then the coconut. Secret to not putting too much oil is just adding fresh water, so I'm gonna do that. Some water here from my. This will cook nicely for about 15-20 minutes until it all softens. So let me give you a quick look here. This is what's happening. This is the butternut squash pretty much cooked. Now it's time to put the tofu. Here's the soft tofu, and you can see that the butternut squash is very soft, soft as tofu. See how this tofu curry with butternut squash, how it comes to life. So this is about a can, 13.5 fluid ounces. You can use 3/4 of it. Most recipes call for 2/3 of a cup. I use the whole thing because I don't use coconut for other dishes, meaning I don't want it to go to waste in the fridge, because that's what often happens, is that we don't use the whole can and then the can just sits there for a week or a couple weeks and then it just goes bad. So here's a bunch of different herbs, but actually it's celery, Chinese celery. I'm gonna be putting this as my green. You can pick spinach, you can pick whatever you have, Swiss chard, kale, to add just for the garnish or just for the greens. The more greens, the more gut diversity you have, the more chance you have to heal your leaky gut. How do you prevent that? By having more fiber, by having prebiotic foods. Let's see. Chili flakes. I like Dry Market. That's where I get my spices. Non-GMO, organic. You can plate this in a nice bowl, or if you have brown rice, which I do, I like to eat it with brown rice. I love having this tofu butternut squash curry. It smells great over rice, really good in the evening hours when you are just trying to soothe your belly, decrease inflammation, trying to avoid a flare. Remember, these are not all flare proof. You have to know what your triggers are and document it, write it down, find a journal, find out and track what you're eating, or use an app so you know what your triggers could potentially be. It can be in the environment, it can be stress, it can be food, or it can be toxins. So figure it out, and you know it can also be mold and other things in the environment. So watch out, talk to us. If you need to see us in our clinic, Dr. Lifestyle, do make an appointment, because it's not always simple, but I know you can do it. I have hope in you in the process, so don't give up.